I was sticking chopsticks in my beard earlier. Some of them were sticking. Ah, there we go. What's up? What's good? We got the skull and crossbones, baby. What's good? My name's Joe. I'm 26 years old. I live in New Paltz, New York, and I love making things. I love hanging out with makers. I love trying new things. I love dancing. I love being active. I love hanging out with my friends. It's dusk right now. Well, not really. It's like getting into blue hour. You know what I'm talking about? It's a bit of a gray day today. And I'm making this video as more or less a declaration of intention of what I'm trying to do in this life, on this platform, what type of people I'm trying to connect with, what type of change I'm trying to affect, what causes and different things I care about. To put it simply, I guess, I have always loved making things, and I've always loved connecting with people over how we all make things. I love the process of designing and creating spaces, creating thoughtfully curated visual experiences, things that, you know, spread multiple different disciplines, visual, auditory. You know, I met a luthier in Granada, Southern, you know, I sound like a gringo saying that. Granada. Yeah, well, you know, I'm a no sabo kid. I should know Spanish a lot better than I do, but I love meeting people who, you know, use their skills and talents to make instruments and to make things that bring us joy in all aspects of the art world. You know, textural stuff, and when we can truly experience everything in the five senses, right? That's when we feel like we can connect with a piece the most in our own individual way. I am just so curious to know how it all works. How do people do it anymore? It's 2026. I think the main thing that separates humans from any other species on the planet and our unique experience, it's our ability to manipulate, our opposable thumbs, right? Manos, manipulation. We can manipulate materials with our hands. Having hands and being connected to your hands as a maker is one of the most quintessential human things that you can do. And I know a lot of people that make things with their hands, but I don't know how many people the average, you know, take an insurance salesperson, plop them into the world of making. How much do they know is able to be made? If you can just like not speak something into existence, but fabricate it into existence and say, yeah, this wasn't here before I ideated it, designed it, drew it, built it, installed it, and now it's here. Now it's a part of someone's experience, right? That's gotta be one of the most empowering things. And I know that there's a lot of makers out there. There's a lot of maker communities. There's tons of different places to learn. You know, YouTube University, it's great. But I want to be an avenue for anyone who's interested in the world of making things of any kind, to learn more and to be curious and to try new things and mess up and have the courage to make and then break and then make and then reform, reshape what it really is that we're after. You know, it's all a malleable substance anyway. Like many materials that can be worked in are additive and subtractive. Wood is very much that way. So is ceramics, metal. They all have different processes, but there's so many underlying psychological things that go on in different aspects of being a maker, right? There's the voice in our heads saying, this didn't turn out as good as I thought it would, or it's taking me longer to learn this than I thought it would, or all these different voices in our heads viewing our own work under a microscopic lens. I'm about to turn on the light, by the way. You can't see it now, it's behind the camera, but I built a chandelier light fixture. Anyway, so lighting's a little better. There we go. But, you know, why do we love to make things? What drives that? What makes us say, you know, I'm gonna physically speak this thing into existence? I'm curious about how other people perceive their roles in the world as makers too, their roles in the world and in their local communities, broader communities, and what making means to their community, you know, and what making means to them personally. How difficult or easy are certain learning curves and certain aspects of different learning curves for different processes? How rewarding can the success of creating a certain piece be? How devastating can the failure to create a piece that one hoped to create be, you know? Many examples of that. I've had my fair share of my own, you know? I've built cabinets that I've been as proud of as I could say, like, this is almost as if it's my own child, you know? I've built custom cabinets that, you know, I got the grain direction wrong and the piece literally exploded, and I've had to deal with that. And like, how does the ego come into play as a maker? It's like, how can we attach ourselves yet simultaneously detach ourselves from the work? Another thing I'm really curious about is I've had 99% of my life experience here in the Hudson Valley of New York. It's a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous location, full of makers. We're an hour and a half north of New York City. Very creative, very well funded, very, you know, it's a hotbed for creative people of all kinds. But I know the Hudson Valley culture like the back of my hand. I won't say it's all that I know. I've been some places, but my big curiosity is, how does making manifest in other cultures? You know, what does making look like in a rural town in India? What does making look like in Italy? Think about all the engineers going into that go into making exotic vehicles, and, you know, German engineering and Italian-made cellos and violins, and all the like centuries of craft knowledge that's just been built up and stored in. Often, what I find fascinating is how just encyclopedia level, like, sums of knowledge can be stored in one human, you know? Like, it's hard to find that. And when you do, it's like finding a treasure box. It's like, wow, this person has taken it upon themselves to dedicate their life to enriching themselves and the craft and the work of an entire skill set, an entire trade, and know all of these things. It's one of these things that it can be documented, it can be passed down for sure, but it has to be experienced too, which is part of the beauty of it. And I feel like this is kind of a beautiful antithesis to what is going on in AI and automation. It has a place, it has a function. It's just about as inevitable as the internet was, as books were, you know? It's just a new iteration in that. However, I don't see hand skills as a thing that are dying per se. Everyone's always going to come up into the game and be interested in them. We have an innate need to build and discover and tinker as a human species, but I aim to capture an essence of what makes makers tick, what makes makers endlessly pursue their craft, and how that shapes the community for all of us, how that shapes the global community of beloved objects and relationships formed around the creation of meaningful objects. I am so curious about going out into the world and seeing where makers are, what their lives look like, how they pass along a skill, how that affects their community, and meeting some lovely people along the way, and obviously some adventures too. I got this little camera I'm pretty excited about. Just came in the mail today, actually. This little guy. It's basically the replacement of the GoPro, so it's magnetic. I could like pop it onto my chest, or yeah, my forehead's not magnetic, but there we go. That works, huh? Anyway, stay tuned. I have a lot of people to meet, a lot of places to go, and a lot of things to learn. So we'll see where that takes us.